Here from Osprey Project Management. We are going to go through two real PMP exam questions to help you pass the PMP on the first try. So if you've followed my channel so far, we've gone through a whole bunch of PMP exam questions. But if you take a look down below in the comments section, we've got a quiz that can help you as well. So just scroll to the through the comments and click on the link to get access to our Osprey PMP quiz. So as we go through this, just let me know if you have any questions about the PMP, the exam strategies, or the questions themselves, and we'll get to it. So, first question. A software development project has a fixed budget and a tight schedule and is in the execution phase. The project team identifies a potential security vulnerability in the software that could lead to data breaches if not addressed properly. This vulnerability was not initially identified during the project's planning phase. What is the best way to categorize the security vulnerability in this scenario? Is it a risk because it poses a potential threat to the project's success? B, a constraint because it affects the project's budget and schedule? C, an issue because it is a current problem that needs immediate attention? Or D, an assumption because it was not identified in the planning phase? So feel free to throw in your answers in chat, or if you're watching this as a pre-record, take a second and think on it. We'll have the answers in chat as well, or the options, I should say. So a lot of folks would probably look at this as a issue. That would be incorrect. The thing that you want to look for in this particular question are some keywords. So the project team identifies a potential security vulnerability. So in studying for your PMP, hopefully you've come across the difference between an issue and a risk. If not, get there soon. It's fundamental to your studies and prep. A risk is something that has the potential of impacting the project. An issue is something that's impacting the project right now. So if the project team identifies a potential security vulnerability in the software that could lead to data breaches if not addressed properly, we're dealing with something that is a probability of occurrence. There's the potential impact that we don't quite know. The whole system's not on fire yet. So it sounds like we have ourselves a risk. So the correct answer here would be a risk because it proposes a potential threat to the project's success. A constraint, option B, that would be out because it's kind of irrelevant. It doesn't affect the project's budget or schedule at the moment. If left unaddressed, of course it could impact the project schedule in due time. An issue because it's a current problem, we just went through that. Obviously, it can't be an issue if it's potential. And an assumption because it was not identified during the planning phase. Interesting here, assumptions often do lead to the documentation of risks in the project planning phase, but an assumption that wasn't documented in the planning phase, that there's no record of or no trail, will become a risk in time. It'll creep up on you. So therefore, the only option you've got to work with here is A. It's a risk. Hopefully you got that one correct. And remember, in chat down below, you're going to have access to a Osprey PMP quiz to help you get ready for that exam. And do let me know in chat if you have any questions about the PMP, how to prep for it, or perhaps even the new changes coming in from the new PMBOK 8, which is going to be a rather significant change to how the PMI structures the exam, or the types of questions that'll be on the exam. So let's move into the second and final question for today. Which of the following best describes the difference between organizational change management and change control? Now, before I get into the questions here, this is again, or the options rather, change management and change control. The PMI love to throw this on the exam for you. They'll always try to trip you up between the two because they're so easily confused, just kind of how they sound. So, what is the difference between change management and change control? Is it A, change management focuses on evaluating stakeholder needs, whereas change control involves creating something new? B, change management is a structured approach for transitioning organizations, mindsets, and cultures, whereas change control deals with the changes at a project level. C, change management is about rapidly responding to changes, whereas change control acts as an agent for change. Or D, change management and change control are synonymous and can be used interchangeably. Um, First throwaway option that you want to get rid of is D. Change management and change control are not synonymous. They are often confused on projects from everyone on a project, the junior analysts, the PMs to senior leaders, more often than you would hope it would be. So, change management and change control are not synonymous. D is automatically out. Hopefully, you can take a guess in live here or at home as to what the correct answer would be. And the correct answer is B. Change management is a structured approach for transitioning organizations, mindsets, and culture, whereas change control deals with the changes at a project level. Another way of kind of phrasing that for folks that's maybe a bit more digestible, change control is the project stuff. It is dealing with changes to scope, schedule, and budget. It's well aligned to how your project or the governance of your project and how it goes about dealing with changes that come up within the project itself. Change management is about the organization. A lot of times PMs trip across, change management in their projects by building something that maybe the end users don't actually want or the end users aren't fully trained on. Change management is kind of the soft art of making sure that an organization or business end users are ready and prepared to accept the output of a project. So change control is just dealing with the fun stuff that changes on a project all the time. Change management is dealing with the changes that happen at an org level and is helping the individual human beings deal with whatever change the project has introduced to the organization. If you've been a part of an organization that's, say, gone along and um, implemented a new piece of software and did a terrible job of training folks or did a terrible job of communicating that the change was happening, more often than not, folks resisted the change, didn't want to participate in the change, or just went back to, whatever it was that they worked on previously, be it Excel spreadsheets instead of some fancy new software tool. Change management is making sure that the end user is okay to use this new software tool in that example. They know how to use the tool, they understand why we're using the tool in the first place, and that use of the tool is sustained throughout um, multiple cycles after the project has closed out. And project management, for a long time, change management and project management have been looked at like they're separate disciplines, and you could argue that they are. My opinion is change management is something that a project manager has to have inherent in their skill sets. It has to be something that they themselves bake into their projects to make sure that end users want to use the bloody thing that you're making. I wouldn't say that change management and project management need to be exclusive disciplines. More often than not, it's really expensive to have change managers and project managers, and it can also create a whole bunch of confusion in an organization if you have a whole lot of change management folks and not that many PMs, or you know, just too many cooks in the kitchen. If you're new to project management, I would suggest you get yourself acquainted with change management as a concept because if you don't, it will bite you in the ass at some point. Um, Making sure that your end users want to use your product is kind of the key to most project success. Got a couple of folks saying hi. A couple of folks. Hey, Alex. Thanks for joining. A couple of folks. 6, 7. Thanks for that. That's fantastic. Yeah, let me know in the comments here if you got any questions for me when it comes to PMP stuff or any PM questions or change management stuff. Um, on the topic of change management, as we're kind of cracking through this stuff, you're here probably because you're interested in getting a PMP exam or sorry, get a PMP certification. The If you're interested in getting a change management certification, there is the ProSci cert that is used for change management practitioners. That's heavily aligned to the ADKAR methodology, where basically you are trained in assessing the awareness, desire, knowledge, ability, and the reinforcement of a change as it applies to an organization. So bear in mind, a PMP is one track for project management certifications, but there are change management specific certifications that exist out there. So get both if you want to make yourself deadly in the workplace, or take a look at change management if that's something you would like to get into as a career. But bear in mind that you don't have to be The two disciplines aren't mutually exclusive if you want to just be a PM that can wear both hats. I hear somebody, well, somebody wants to tell me a joke. I'm super nervous to say it, but yeah, go for it. What have you got, or are you still there? What's worse than ants in your pants? I'm taking the bait. Taking the bait. What have you got for me, buddy? Uh, uh, Uncle. Yeah, I'll give you that for sure. I can't see who that was, but yeah, good one. Excellent. All right. Well, on that note, yeah, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for the jokes, and yeah, next time let's do this again. And yeah, would love to hear your jokes. Okay, take care, everybody. We'll see you soon. Bye now.